Okay, for this lesson, we're going to just start to kind of get our feet wet in Illustrator. And the first thing that you're going to do is open up this document, Level 1, Step 1 Monsters. And you'll notice that it has a .ai. Right here is the file name. It showed up, Level 1, Step 1 Monsters.ai. That .ai is the Illustrator extension. So if you ever see a file that ends in AI, that means it is opened in Illustrator. So hopefully it'll automatically open in Illustrator for you. Once it does open, we're going to play around with some shortcuts right off the bat. Zooming in, zooming out, and fitting to screen. So if we go up here, we can go to View and click on that, and you can do zoom in, zoom out, and fit artboard in window. All of those are really annoying if you had to go to that drop-down menu over and over again, so it's best to get familiar with the shortcut. And this is the shortcut, the Command key, and then the plus. The Command and the minus, and the Command and 0. So if we click right on our window here and do Command plus, 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 we're going to start to zoom in on this document. And the fun thing about vector art that we're kind of learning is you can zoom in forever and you're never going to get pixels because it's always going to be a nice crisp line created by math. Zooming in forever. Okay, so now we zoomed all the way in. Let's zoom out. I'm going to do Command minus, 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 Command minus, 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 all the way out here. See how far it lets us go, about there. And as we zoom in and out, you'll notice up here, it'll show you the percentage of zooming in and zooming out. So right now we're at like 50%. Well, let's say that you just want to snap it back so you can see it really quick. It's Command 0. And that fits it right back into the screen. So go ahead and take a moment to play around with Command plus, Command minus, and Command 0. Alright, now that you've played around with zooming in, zooming out, and fitting to the screen, we're going to build a monster. So you're going to go ahead and pick any one of these bodies, accessories, mouth, eyes, and you're just going to start to move them over here using our selection tool. So if we hover over our selection tool, which is located in this toolbox off to the side here, if you hover over it, there's a V. Here, there's an A. So if we go A, V, it's going to automatically, I'm doing this on the keyboard, it's going to automatically switch between these tools. That's the shortcut. And we're going to use the selection tool, but in a moment we'll play around with the direct selection tool. So the selection tool, we're going to grab some sort of shape that we want to use, some eyes, a mouth, and we want to move some of this stuff around. So what I'm going to do is click and drag over my monster, and we're going to make him bigger so it's a little bit easier to work with. So I'm going to click and drag to make it bigger, but here's another trick I want to show you. When you can reverse him like that too if you just slide over that vertices or whatever, but when you click and drag it, you can press and hold Shift and it will keep it in proportion. So rather than making it too skinny or too fat, you can press and hold Shift, boom, it snaps right into proportion. There we go. We have all those guys selected so they're all moving together, because we can also just select the eyes and just select the mouth and move them independently as well and scale them independently. So this is where everybody's monster can end up looking really different, because you can really tinker with how these things are oriented. You can see you can rotate things, scale them. It's a lot of fun to play around with these things. Let's see, maybe I want to do an accent. I don't even know what this is. Is it for the hair? I don't know. I don't like it. I'm going to hit delete and get rid of it. Okay. So here's our monster. We learned the direct selection tool, zooming in, zooming out, fitting to screen, how you can scale. You can press and hold Shift so that things do not get too wonky on you. Now let's play around with the direct selection tool. So I'll go ahead and hit A on my keyboard shortcut. And whoa, look what happened. I can see all of the anchor points now. So I'm going to go ahead and click on one of these shapes, and you see the outline, and I can move the shape around independently. But with the direct selection tool, I can also adjust the path or the anchor point. So I can click on the anchor point. Oops, sorry. I can click on the anchor point and drag it out. And this can get really messy if you are not familiar with the pen tool that creates these vector lines. So I caution you to that. If you start doing something, then you're like, oh my gosh, what did I do? You can undo it by doing Command Z. So up here it'd be like Edit, Undo, Move, Command Z. So we can do Command Z, Command Z, Command Z. And the fun thing about Illustrator is that you can Command Z back to the beginning of time from when you started the whole document. And then if you want to ever redo something, that little arrow means Shift. So Shift Command Z will redo things as well. Okay, I think that's about it. So what you're going to do once you have done all of those things, learned all of those shortcuts, and you're happy with your monsters, I want you to click and drag over your monster, and I want you to copy them and paste them into a new document and save that document as a PDF. So first, let's go ahead and make a new document. So go to File, New, and this is going to be for print. So when this window loads, we're going to go to Print right here. You'll notice that you can make new documents that are for like iPhone screens and such. That gives you the exact correct dimensions and all that. But we're going to go ahead and do Print. And we're going to just select a regular letter size. That's the normal printer paper. And in case you ever want to play around with this stuff, you can adjust, let's see what it looks like in inches, 8.5 by 11 inches. If you want it to be landscape, you can, but we're going to leave it in portrait. And we're going to go ahead and create. Now, since I did go over here, selected my monster, do Command C to copy. I'm going to go over here and do Command V to paste. And there he is. It's my little monster dude. Now I'm going to go File, Save As. And I want you to name it your name, and then monster. And like I said, we don't want to save it as an Illustrator file. AI is Adobe Illustrator. We want to save it as a PDF. Let's go ahead and go to PDF. Save. Save PDF. And now it is on my desktop right there. So I would like you to then take your little monster PDF and upload it on Google Classroom. All right, good luck. Have fun.